refreshment outside. So we are talking about ghusl, and do you have any questions so far about the wudu and ghusl that we did? Anybody has any questions? The proper way to tell ghusl and wudu? Anybody, any sisters, brothers, anybody? No, all good? Alhamdulillah? Okay. Okay. And we talked about one thing, wiping after the ghusl. We said before that touching the private organ breaks your wudu. That's what we say. And now you are out of the shower and you have to wipe yourself, obviously, because when you finish your shower, you already have wudu. Because anyway you do it, as long as you have intention for wudu, you have wudu there. But how are you going to wipe this? So the scholar says it's okay to wipe, because when you're wiping, you're not using your hand, you're using towels and other things to wipe something off, okay? So that should be fine. And as long as you are doing it just for the purpose of wiping, it should be fine. And as long as, obviously, we wipe with something. We don't stand in the air and wipe it. So we use towels and everything. So that's fine to do this. So that's how we perform the wudu. Only thing we remember, as I mentioned, that from the state of janaba, when you're taking a shower, you must, not must, but you better and better, is highly recommended. You do it where you do it. Why? Because Prophet ﷺ used to do that way. And you should understand, we should not be ashamed or talking about this thing, because how we know these things? Because Prophet ﷺ used to take shower and his wife used to see them. And this is another blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed him and blessed us, that we have so many mothers of the believers, Ummahatul Mu'minin, so many of them, and we have so many hadiths from them. And these hadiths is not possible for Sahaba to carry them. Only the wives only can see that how he's taking part in the ghusl and everything, and that's why it's blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know the exact thing. And he never ever took shower the ordinary way, that's to wipe his body. He do it proper way, so clean your thing. And this is important. This is important for our everyday life. Okay, we must clean our hands. Use the hand to clean up our private parts, and then do a complete wudu standing in the shower. You can do that, and then you do the ghusl. And in the ghusl time, there are few areas of the body, especially behind the knee. Okay, behind the knee. Sometimes because it's curved, so the water is not. So be careful, because nowadays alhamdulillah, we have so many facilities. We have the hand shower and stuff like that, so you can go through this one. Because sometimes if you see this part, if you just stand below the shower, this is not getting wet because behind the leg. Okay, so make sure you this way. Also your bottom part, the back part, all the areas must be wet. If any area is dry, your ghusl is not complete. It doesn't take that long time, but you should have to be careful and cautious, because this is also a part of your ibadah when you do it. And if you do it with intention, as I mentioned before, you are getting reward because you're following the proper sunnah way to perform this. Now let's go to the next slide. Now tayammum is a very simple act, and you all know the story of the tayammum, that how it's been revealed. Because one day Prophet ﷺ was in a journey with his wife Aisha and other Sahaba, and Aisha radhiyallahu anha, she lost her necklace. Okay, and everybody was looking for the necklace because she was a very precious necklace to her. So and even Prophet ﷺ, imagine his respect to his wife, and he didn't say, okay, forget about this one, let's go. He gave time to everyone, and they found it, but by the time it was almost the prayer time, and they didn't have enough water to do this one. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayah. Another thing to ponder about the story, that look, if Allah could have revealed that, or Prophet ﷺ could have decided, okay, let's join the salah. Maybe it was Asr time. Let's go to Maghrib in Medina when you go home and we pray together. That's fine. But no, Allah made this symbolic tayammum thing obligatory just to make sure that we pray on time. So whatever is the situation, you must pray. So the importance of prayer is there. Allah don't need to put this one. He could have waited and joined the prayer next time, or do qada or whatever is that. Okay, it could be another ruling. But no, Allah sent the verses in Surah An-Nisa that you have to do tayammum if you do not have water. And the meaning of the side in the Arabic language means what you find on the surface. So basically it's rock, stone, dirt. So this kind of wall you cannot use it for tayammum because they are painted. Okay, you cannot use this for tayammum. You must go outside and find some ground like dirt or something like this, or stone or something like this. Okay, so surface that has painting or something is not ready. But the wall that our outside masjid, the brick wall, scholars say that's okay, because the brick wall you can see dirt on them. These ones you have dirt, but they are painted, so you are not allowed to do with tayammum with this kind of thing. Anything that has dirt and everything, that should be doing one. And according to the majority of the scholar, tayammum is permissible when there is no water available. It's not like it's winter and cold, okay, let's do tayammum. I don't want to get cold water. No, it's not allowed, okay? And also, when one is unable to use the water, meaning that you have some medical condition that the doctor said you cannot use water, that time you are allowed to do tayammum, okay? Now in the tayammum, this is substitute for wudu and ghusl. What I mean by that, so you know we saw the action that necessitated your ghusl. So you are in a state of janaba, you have to take ghusl to get out of the impurity. But if you don't have water, you can do tayammum. And there is actually a funny story from one of the Sahaba. His Sahaba's name was Abu Ammar Yasir, like Ammar ibn Yasir. What he did when the tayammum came, he knew that it's the substitute of wudu. So he was a young man, he got married, and he was in state of janaba, and he had no water at that time. So what he do, he thought in his mind that okay, I have to do ghusl. The same way I did tayammum, he rolled his whole body in the sand. Okay? He said, I'm going to cover myself with dirt. And he came to Prophet Islam and said, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't know how to perform ghusl. I know tayammum is a substitute for wudu, so I rolled my body in the sand. The Rasulullah laughed at him. He said, no, that's fine. Tayammum suffice for both wudu and for ghusl, as long as you have no water available. Also, how to perform tayammum is very simple. Very, very simple. Struck the earth, soil or stone, whatever you have, with the palms one. So you struck it like this, and then you wipe the face. So you have to wipe the face first, and then with your right wrist, wipe your right wrist with the left, and the left with the right. Finish. And everything one time is suffice. You don't have to do 3 times, okay? So just wipe the ground, wash the face, wipe the face, and wipe this both hands, both wrists, not the whole hand, just the wrist. That should be suffice, okay? And for tayammum, what breaks nullify tayammum? Anything that breaks wudu, that also breaks tayammum, okay? So if you're going to the toilet, urinate or defecate, your wudu is broken, so tayammum is broken. 2 other things, the availability of water. So suppose you have no water in this area. So you start praying here by doing tayammum. So you did tayammum, or even at your home, you have no water coming and you have no neighbors or something, so completely have no water. You're doing tayammum and you heard the tap, the water is coming. Or someone brought your water. You must break the prayer and do the wudu and then you pray. Because as long as you have water available, your tayammum breaks. Okay? And also the timing factor. Suppose you're driving and you know there's no water, but you see the time that by the time I miss my Zohar, I can still reach some place, some gas station or something that I can get water. You should not do tayammum and pray that time. You should wait till that time. If you assume that you can get water very soon, before the prayer time finish, you should go, wait till that, even the prayer is delayed. I mean delayed means in the time limit, you should delete it and you should do tayammum, okay? So timing is a big factor. A lot of scholars says for tayammum, that for every prayer you should do tayammum. Suppose you have no water for next 3 prayers, you should do tayammum every prayer. But some scholars say that's fine, 1 time is suffice, as long as there is no water available for you. Okay, now this topic is our last topic. And brothers, you can think that this is all about sisters and women, but this is very important, okay, for us also, because our wives, our sisters, our mothers, they are not exposed to in the masjid like we do. We hear a lot of lessons, a lot of talk from the sheikh. They are not available so many times to come to masjid. So we must know these things for our wives. So if they have any question, and this kind of question, if they have this question, they can even come and ask the sheikh, because there is type of shyness. So they will ask you, if the husband. So we must know about this one. But this topic is a very, very complicated topic. As Imam Malik said, it will be surprised to hear that comment. He said he spent 9 years to understand the fiqh of this woman's blood, and he's still not completely sure. Because he said this is a complicated matter in the sense that the fiqh rulings in that is a lot of things. So I made it very, very simple to understand for the sisters and for you also, so that you can help your wives, sisters, mothers and daughters, whatever, okay? So there are 3 types of bleeding for the woman, okay? The scholars say there are 3 types of bleeding. One is the menstruation, the haid, it's called in Arabic haid. One is after the childbirth, which is nifas. And other than these 2 is called istihada, something defective blooding. So some ladies, some sisters can have bleeding without any reasons, okay? They've been bleeding for 10, 15 days or something, many medical conditions, that's called istihada. And there are different rulings for these 3 kind of bleeding, okay? We'll very quickly go through these ones, and inshallah ta'ala we'll finish with this. For the haid, for the normal menstruation for the sisters, So there is no maximum or minimum time from the Quran and Sunnah. So you cannot say there's 7 days fixed or 9 days fixed. No, there is no hadith like this. It could be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or could be more. According to Hanafi madhab, to make it easy, they say anything between 3 and 10 is highest, meaning menstruation. Anything less than 3 is istihaza, anything more than 10 is istihaza. That's the Hanafi rules. But according to the Quran and Sunnah, actually, there is no clear-cut evidence for that. The minimum age for haid 9, because there is a hadith from Aisha radhiyallahu anha. She said before the 9 there is no no sister can have haid. But some medical condition, depending on which area they are growing up, different part of the world has different body structure, so they can have it. And there is no maximum age also. If ladies can have highs up to 45, 55, 60, this doesn't have no limit actually. The major ritual impurity, so must take ghusl, as we mentioned before, must take ghusl to purify afterwards. No salah, and those salah doesn't need to be made up, as we all know that. So at those times, those days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, whatever the highest is for the sisters, they don't need to make up the prayers, and they are not allowed to pray. They are not allowed to pray. And also the fasting is the same for Ramadan, but you must make up those fasts. And how do you know that? Aisha says that, Prophet used to tell us not to make up the salah, but make up the fast. Okay? So not to make up the fast, but fast. No sexual intercourse with the husband at that time. It is very, very some of the scholars say it's a major sin to have intercourse with your spouse and with your wife at that time. Okay, this is not allowed, but other intimacies are okay. Other intimacies are okay. As Sahaba came to Rasulullah and they said, my wife is in haid, what should I do? Can I enjoy her in different way? Rasulullah said, as long as the private part doesn't meet, it's all good to do that. Okay? But the other things are not allowed. So no sin, and no divorce also allowed. So the brothers are not allowed to divorce their wife. Doesn't matter first divorce, second divorce, or third divorce while they are in menstruation. Actually, the divorce law has more extended things, more other rules than. But the first rule is that if your wife is in the highest in menstruation cycle, you are not allowed to utter the divorce at all. It's a major sin. Okay, not allowed at all. No touching the Quran, as we mentioned before. Okay. Also, reciting is okay. Suppose a sister is a Quran teacher. Alhamdulillah, we have so many sisters, the Quran teacher, or memorizing. She herself memorizing the Quran. So touching is not allowed. But if it's a habit for her, and if she's a teacher, it is allowed as long as she's wearing some gloves and everything. It's okay. Some of the scholars said it's fine. Or if she's memorizing something, this is okay. But better to avoid if possible on that time. No touching of the Quran. But as I said, memorizing is fine if you are in a habit of that. Okay. Also at that time, it's not allowed to come into the masjid. As we mentioned before, they're not allowed to come in the masjid. As we mentioned also in the janaba state, like even for the boy, the brothers, if you're in janaba, you're not allowed to stay in the masjid. But passing through is okay. Meaning, if a sister wants to pass through the masjid, for something, or maybe she came with the brother, passing through is okay, but not sitting in the masjid allowed in that state. Also, Aisha, she said about some white fluid at end of the period. So she said the indication of the period is that there is some kind of white fluids come out, and when this is come out, they must be careful about the salah, because the salah is obligatory from that point. So they must take ghusl right away and do the ghusl at that time. Okay. Next thing is the post-childbirth nifas. This is the same ruling as the nifas. Okay, but only thing this has a maximum time. It's 40 days. So if a sister gives birth to a child and she's been bleeding for a few days and it's been 40 days already, but she's still bleeding, 41 days, she's not allowed for those ruling. All ruling got out, because you can only have those ruling 40 days. From 41 days, she must pray as normal. She must fast if it's Ramadan, and whatever is there, she must do, because that blood is called istihaza, the third category. It's not under these first two categories. Okay, in the istihaza, so which is defective bleeding, and as the medical term it says, so a sister knows that this is not her period. Maybe her period is from 1st of the month to 7th of the month. In the middle of the month, in 13 or 14, she's having some kind of blood, okay, and it's continuous or something, okay. In that case, it is called istihaza. In istihaza, she must pray and everything. How do she pray wudu? Scholars say, even the lady, actually, she came to Prophet ﷺ, she was heavily bleeding. He said, Ya Rasulullah, when I'm doing wudu, I'm also bleeding at that time. Prophet said, don't worry, you keep doing wudu. So tie something in the private area, tie up something in the private area, do your wudu. Even during the wudu time you are doing it, that's fine. Pray, and after the pray, for the next prayer you have to do wudu again. So only thing that you must take wudu in every prayer. So if you are defective bleeding or this bleeding, if you are sure that this bleeding is not your haid, this bleeding is not after the childbirth, you must follow all the rules, but make sure that you do wudu before every prayer. Actually, a lot of scholars say it is better to do ghusl at that time. If you have defective bleeding, before every prayer you do ghusl. During the prayer, when you are saying Allahu Akbar and praying, even if you feel like you are bleeding, that's fine. That lady, the Sahabiya that I am talking about, she has so much bleeding. Prophet ﷺ said, if you have so much bleeding, she took a bucket, under her place, and while she was praying. But still, the prayer is not, it's not diminished at that time. You must follow the prayer rule as mentioned, because it is other. If you miss the prayer, that you are sinful at that time. Okay, so must take wudu after every prayer, and ghusl is recommended. The last thing, how to differentiate between the haid and istihada. This is a common question people ask. So there are some ruling in the fiqh. They try to differentiate by the nature of the blood. Only sisters know that, they know because they have it every time. Also try to go back to the old habit. So if they don't know what is blood happening, they try to think the old habit. When I used to have period before, is it from this day to this day? They try to match it up with that one. Even that fails, then they take the habit of their close relative. If she has her own sister, which is her own blood sister, and she has her own habit, she follow that habit. So what I'm trying to say here, suppose a sister is bleeding, a defective bleeding for the first of the month, and continuously bleeding the whole month. Usually she gets menstruation in the 20th of the month. So first 20 days she knows that this is not menstruation, so I have to pray and everything. From the 20th day, now she's confused. What to do? Is it my defective bleeding continuing, or this is my normal heal? That time the confusion comes. And then she has to follow her old habit. If she forgets her old habit, or she was irregular in that time, she must follow someone who is closely blood related, or anybody of her same age or same structure. She should follow that one. I think with this one, we finish our talk. I will just show you one video, as I said, that about the wudu. It is a 2-minute video, so give me 1 second, and inshallah after that we finish. And if you have any question, you can ask, and we can have some light reflection. So give me 1 second, I will show you the video.